Coming up right now in Marlborough this week, the incumbents swept Tuesday's municipal election with only one new face joining the council team. We have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the important job of setting up the polls, plus Marlborough High School football clinches their first playoff appearance in 28 years. And later in this half hour, something horrible made its way down Main Street last week just in time for Halloween. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Tuesday's municipal election turned out to be a great day to be an incumbent in the city of Marlborough as Mayor Nancy Stevens wins a third term while all of the current councilors at large were re-elected. Here are the results. City councilors are as follows: Arthur Vigent, Michael Ossing, Stephen Levy, and Patricia Pope. Your ward councilors are as follows: for Ward 1, Joseph Delano; for Ward 2, Paul Farrow; for Ward 3, Matt Elder; Ward 4, Peter Jouer; Ward 5, Robert Seymour; Ward 6, Ed Clancy; and Ward 7, Don Landers. School committee results are as follows: Michelle Bowden-Henninger, Jennifer Hardy, and Mark Hediger. Now, Tuesday was a great day for our incumbents, but according to City Clerk Lisa Thomas, it wasn't the same for our voters. On Tuesday, 6,123 of the city's 20,239 voters made it to the polls. City Clerk Lisa Thomas said she is disappointed with the 30% voter turnout in Tuesday's election, although the city fared better than most Massachusetts towns and cities. For the 2008 presidential and state elections, turnout was 81%. Now, as you just heard, among the incumbents re-elected was your Mayor Nancy Stevens. A week before the election, we sat down with her to look back and look ahead regarding her position as mayor. One question in particular was, if she was to be re-elected, what she thinks the toughest challenge she's going to face in the next 2 years, and with the current state of the economy, the outlook is unfortunately grim.
I think the economics, the financial issues are going to be the hardest thing. I can't imagine putting together the FY11 budget is going to be very difficult, and it depends on what happens this year with reductions in state aid. If we get more reductions next year, it's going to be a really difficult time.
Despite the tough times ahead, Stevens states that her position as mayor gives her so much fulfillment and knowing that she has an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives each and every day.
I personally have to have that sense of fulfillment at the end of the day. I have to know that I made a difference. Somehow, some way I made a difference that day. And I never forget that. And I just feel so lucky and privileged to have this position. And I love what I do.
Continuing with Election Day, in order to show you at home what City Clerk Lisa Thomas and her crew go through on Election Day, we followed several employees around the city Tuesday morning, far before the polls opened up at 7 a.m. Here's more on this story. City Clerk Lisa Thomas and numerous city employees delivered election equipment to polling places throughout the city in preparation for Tuesday's municipal election.
We had our head constable down at the vault with us, my assistant Claire Lucia, myself. We had a police officer. What we did was we divided up all the voting machines by east and west location. We got them into the vehicles, and then we started with the supply boxes. Each precinct has 2 supply boxes. One is loaded with the blank ballots, and the other one has all the other supplies needed for each polling location.
The city clerk's office and DPW employees are responsible for the safe delivery of the voting machines and materials to each of the specified polling sites. Many people don't realize how much work goes into preparing for each primary and general election. Claire Lucier covered the east side of the city while Thomas covered the west side. Our cameras follow Thomas. First stop, Senior Center.
We went in there and we made sure that everything was set up appropriately. What we did is reiterate to all the constables in both east and west locations the importance of making sure that the machines are put back in the bag properly so that they're not accidentally shut off.
So far, so good. No problems at the first polling site. Second stop, the Boys and Girls Club.
Joe Duca, our head constable, and we went inside. Everybody was already there. Auto mark machines were set up with their individual privacy shields. We made sure that the AccuVote machines were set up properly, and at all the polling locations, obviously all the wardens did their zero report, which is mandatory prior to any ballots being fed in any of the AccuVote machines.
It was then on to the next polling location, the Richer School.
When we went in there, we saw that the black boxes were already in place. The black boxes are where the AccuVote machines actually sit on top of, and when the ballots are cast through the AccuVote machines, they're placed in the box, they automatically go inside the box, and that's when the tallying takes place via the AccuVote machine.
Fourth and final stop, Masonic Hall.
And upon entering, they had already set up one of the portable sets of voting booths. However, the other one was a little bit more difficult. They are getting old and they're getting tattered, so we made sure through the help of both the constables as well as the wardens, the voting booths were set up properly.
Polls officially opened at 7 a.m. and remained open until 8 p.m. Thomas and her crew try very hard to ensure a smooth process throughout Election Day, but problems do occur. With this being Thomas's second election, numerous changes have been made since her first election just 2 years ago.
The changes that we've implemented, although simple, have made a big difference. One of the big changes is we now have signs at all the polling locations so that folks know where to park, they know what entrance to go into. That makes it so much easier. Wardens and clerks, when they come into my office at the end of the evening with their reconciled numbers, I have a spreadsheet with the formulas already in place. All we have to do is plug in the numbers. It's nearly instantaneous.
Once the polls opened at 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, the action began. Voters came to the polls to voice their choice throughout the entire day, and as you were there, you probably saw crews of people holding signs and maybe even the candidates themselves shaking hands. Dan Ginden headed to the polls on Tuesday to find out more about these polling tactics.
It is said that change is good. I don't think any incumbent in the Marlborough city elections agrees with that saying. So they debate, make campaign announcements, and make appearances at the polls on Election Day.
It's classic. You know, I remember when I was a kid working at the polls when they used to feed us ham and cheese sandwiches and holding signs. You know, that's what motivated me when you're 12 years old. I'd hate to see it go away.
With all the H1N1 concerns, fist bumping seems like a better way to say hello these days. Yet the voters walk by the candidates, and inevitably, handshaking happens. So the candidates must feel like it's worth it.
Well, I think it helps me out because it's that or sit at home and be nervous about it all day. But no, the opportunity to come out here, talk to people, you know, if they have concerns, it's actually an opportunity when they can see us face to face and express any concerns, things they want us to address.
It's just a matter of being seen and, you know, waving to people from outside. And a lot of people still come up and talk to you and say hi, good luck, and it's an interesting day.
And I certainly enjoy it. I think campaigning, while it's very serious, you also enjoy yourself. You have a lot of fun doing it and see a lot of people. And I've been gratified by the number of people who've been coming over to me today and talking to me about things that were done in the past when I held office before. And people are remembering that.
Here you are running unopposed, and you're here anyway. Why is it important?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I think about it because sometimes you can see that people really don't want you to approach them. Other times, so many people come up to you and get to chat with you, ask you questions, and ask for a little help on different issues. And for me personally, I think it's a sign of respect to be out here and stand out here for 13 hours to greet the residents of my ward, to say hello to people and thank them for coming out to vote.
You see campaign signs on front lawns throughout the city as well, but not nearly as many as you see at the polls on Election Day. Citizens dedicated to the candidates whose signs they grasp, but the question begs to be asked, do they think it can help the voters make up their minds?
I think it's a reminder. If I wouldn't think it was as big a deal if I hadn't had so many people say to me, oh, I forgot today was Election Day, if I hadn't seen the guys at the polls holding the sign. So, that's what we have them, is to say, today is Election Day, come on out.
Well, I think it's an opportunity for the people who are coming to vote to see who the candidates are. And it's also a good opportunity for us as candidates to see who the voters are. I mean, we recognize a lot of the faces of the people in the wards who are coming to vote, and it's very encouraging to see that.
Yeah, it's good to meet people up close and personal. You know, whenever I'm out shaking people's hands or knocking on their door, or when the people are coming through here, waving hi to them, they really tell me that it's nice to finally put a face with the name.
For Decision 2009, I'm Dan Ginden.
Hazmat officials were called to Rinchem Company in Marlborough on Wednesday night after the company's fire suppression system tripped. When firefighters arrived around 6:30 p.m. at the warehouse on Hayes Memorial Drive, they noticed roughly 3 feet of foam spread throughout the area. When the state team entered the warehouse, they soon discovered it was not a case of chemical exposure. Officials were at the location for several hours. Luckily, there were no injuries, just a big mess to clean up. As you drive through the city, you may notice the current condition of our roads. It seems to be a hot topic in every single ward. Despite the current budget restraints, Commissioner of the DPW, Ron Lafreniere, is working on a 5-year plan to improve the condition of our streets. Our staff sat down with Lafreniere to learn more.
DPW currently has $85,000 to $90,000 a year in their operating budget to maintain the 160 miles of roads in the city. Because of the limited money available, the department relies on other sources, such as the Capital Bond Program, which provides anywhere from $750,000 to $1.3 million a year for road maintenance. Many residents may wonder why some streets are repaired, while other streets may go decades without being treated. DPW Commissioner Ron Lafreniere explains the formula used by the department.
All of the streets have been ranked based on their pavement condition and the defects that each street has. As you know, a new street is in great shape, and the typical pavement condition index, PCI, for that street would be anywhere between 95 and 100. Streets that have had no maintenance on them for a number of years, maybe in some cases decades, would have a PCI ranking of anywhere from 40 to 60. And those are the streets that are in the worst shape, comparatively speaking, and the ones where we focus our energies each year.
It was estimated in 2005 that it would take, on average, $2.5 million just to maintain the current PCI rankings for the Marlborough streets, which Ron says just isn't realistic given the current budget restraints.
And the consequence of that is each year we don't fund that amount. The following year we fall that far behind. And we find ourselves in a very difficult situation right now where because of the economy, the city can only afford a certain amount of money to allocate towards street resurfacing, and unfortunately it's just insufficient to meet the needs.
The DPW is now preparing a 5-year plan that would take the streets from their current condition to a condition that brings them to a standing of 80 or above.
I dare say if it was $2.5 million in 2005 that we needed to spend each year, and we've missed a couple of years of work, that we're going to be looking somewhere in the order of anywhere from $4 to $6 million a year that we're going to have to spend on our streets in the over the next 5 to 10 years.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
Sticking with our streets, we'd like to remind you that the winter overnight parking ban will be in effect starting Tuesday, December 1st. On-street parking will not be allowed between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. The ban is in effect until March 15th, regardless of whether there is snow. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough This Week, one local school celebrates a special anniversary with an official library dedication. But first, an H1N1 vaccine clinic will be taking place next week. Who's it's for and where it's taking place. We'll have the details when we return. Please stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. An H1N1 or swine flu clinic will be taking place on Tuesday, November 10th from 4 to 5:30 p.m. at the Marlborough Board of Health, room 109, located at 255 Main Street. The clinic is open to pregnant women only from Marlborough. You can obtain more information by calling 508-460-3751. The Marlborough Boys and Girls Scouts formally announced last week the kickoff of their annual Scouting for Food campaign. Scouts have been participating in the cause for over 20 years, and on Saturday, November 7th, they will set out throughout the city to distribute plastic bags to all residents with the goal of collecting 8 tons of food.
I'm so pleased to be here to kick off the 2009 Scouting for Food Drive here in the city of Marlborough. This is the 22nd annual Scouting for Food Drive here in the city, and I'm so pleased to have with me representatives from the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the Marlborough Community Services. With me today is Jim Watson, who is the coordinator for the Boy Scouts for the Scouting for Food, and Jim's going to say a few words.
Thank you. Actually, just wanted to let everyone know that the kickoff, I first thank the mayor for all her kind words, which is fantastic. Next Saturday after Halloween, November 7th, the Girl Scouts that have once again partnered with the Boy Scouts will be sending out the very familiar bags for Scouting for Food that are again donated by Price Chopper Supermarkets, and that all of the food collected will be going directly to the Marlborough Community Food Pantry.
We're currently serving over 800 people per month. So our need is great. We can use any donation whatsoever.
The Boys and Girl Scouts have done a fantastic job, and in these tough economic times, the pantry serves more clients than ever. So we're asking you to be generous, to open your hearts and really give and help with the food pantry drive this year. Again, November 7th is the day that the bags will be distributed, thanks to Price Chopper, and November 14th they will be picked up. As we know, coming into the holidays with a lot of vacation days, it's really difficult for families when the kids are home all the time and not getting their meals at school. So we're asking you to be generous as you can in these tough economic times, and help out those in our community that are less fortunate. I'm so pleased that every time we have something like this community really shows its heart and its spirit, and I'm hoping that you can join the rest of us in really making a difference on November 14th.
Marlborough Middle School, more commonly known as the 4 to 7 school, held a gathering right outside their library on Wednesday afternoon to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the new addition to the school. Current teachers and staff attended, including some retirees. Among the group was Bill Downey, former retired principal of the school. A banner has been hanging above the library doors in honor of Downey's commitment to the school, but as of Wednesday, the dedication became a bit more permanent.
It's a great building, as I said, the new addition and how it lays out into the older complex and so forth. But there was one thing, Bill. I came in and I said, what is this? So what we've done today in honor of the 10-year anniversary is we've done away with this thing, and we now have...
Thank you again. When the library was dedicated in my honor when I retired, I've always felt what a great place this is and an important place for a school. It's the heart of a school. It's a wonderful location. It's a true resource. And for those of you that really work with this middle-level child, and middle level has been about every other number and grade configuration you can imagine as well, continues to be a very, very important part of our education. So we really need to continue to focus where we are and at the elementary schools to make sure we make that good groundwork and support for those students so that they are successful, they become lifelong learners, and that they're great assets to our society.
Something horrible made its way down Main Street last Friday evening. It was a creepy procession of costumed children taking part in Main Street's inaugural Horribles Parade. Local youth turned out in a vast array of costumes, from classics like Dracula, mummies, princesses, and clowns. No matter who they dressed as, they got to celebrate Halloween early with all the downtown merchants who participated. The Marlborough Middle School band provided some entertainment. It's a great way to socialize, celebrate Halloween, and meet the merchants in the downtown area. The Horribles Parade is an annual event. A hospital raffle, your pet of the week, and sports, it's all coming up. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm firefighter Mark. I just got back from fighting a fire that could have been prevented. Here's an easy and simple way to protect you and your family from a fire. Change your batteries in your smoke detector. When replacing the batteries in your smoke detector, make sure that you have fresh, new batteries. When testing your smoke detector, you want to make sure that you push the test button. And don't forget about carbon monoxide in your home. There are 2 types of detectors to protect yourself from carbon monoxide. This one is battery operated and needs to be mounted on your wall. This one needs to be plugged into your wall outlet. So remember, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Marlborough Hospital Auxiliary is now selling raffle tickets for 3 gift baskets, which will be awarded on November 20th at the Well Wishes gift shop located in the lobby of the hospital. Raffle tickets are $1 each or 6 for $5 and may be purchased at the gift shop. All proceeds will be given to the hospital or to the Auxiliary Scholarship Fund.
Today we have Chico, and Chico is an active little guy, as you can see. He's very happy, he gets along great with other dogs, he loves to play. He's not good with cats, so no cats for Chico. He's a 3-year-old neutered male that came to us from a rescue group in Maryland, and he's gonna make a great pet for an active family. So if you're interested in Chico, please give us a call to shelter. The number is 978-443-6990.
It's time for another sports update. I'm Rob O'Keefe. We got the highlights you've been waiting for. Last week, it was time for Marlborough to put up or shut up. They went 7-0, and this time, it was for all the marbles in the 1B championship. Milford picked the wrong time to step into Marlborough. The day before Halloween, Marlborough was ready to give Milford some nightmares. Early on in the game, Milford's Tommy Leon was picked off by Marlborough defensive back Tyler Reddy. So here's Marlborough looking for their first score of the game, and A.J. Serra throws it in to Mike Marini to go up 7-0. Milford didn't get another first down until late in the second quarter. Now it's 1st and 15 from the 36. Adrian DeJesus with a halfback pass to Adam Serra. He's going to fight his way to the 20-yard line. But that's not going to be good enough for the Marlborough offense. And A.C. Carter runs it in from the 1 to make it 14-0 Marlborough. Pay attention on this play as Milford's entire offensive line just stands still, lets Marlborough's defense sack the quarterback. A.C. Carter's going to run it up the sidelines here for a measly 20 yards. He had 153 total yards in the night with 2 touchdowns. But right here, Adrian DeJesus is going to make it 21-0. And here's the second play of the third quarter. The man in motion is A.C. Carter, who takes the pass from A.J. Serra. He's going to do what A.C. Carter does best. Run down the sideline for another score. It's 28-0 Marlborough. Milford would go on to score 3 unanswered touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but time just ran out. And congratulations to MHS. They clinched their first playoff berth in 28 years. And the media poll still gives them no love. Still at number 5 behind 2 teams with 1 loss. I don't get it. The football team wasn't the only team at Marlborough to make it into the postseason. Here's the Marlborough postseason schedule.
Make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. Power, power, never. Ever. After.
Still ahead, Veterans Day activities and your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The second annual Salute to Our Veterans will be held by the Marlborough Historical Society on Saturday, November 7th and Sunday the 8th, and of course on Wednesday the 11th from 10 to 4 p.m. at the Senior Center at 250 Main Street. Admission is free and is open to the public. Donations will be accepted. Local residents who have had relatives serving in the World War II may find this exhibit worthwhile. Just a reminder once again that your local scouts will be delivering plastic grocery bags this Saturday, November 7th, to residences in Marlborough and Hudson to collect donations for local food pantries. On average, only 1% of the bags are returned with items, so please take a moment to help the scouts and donate to your local food pantry this year. And lastly, please take a minute to check out our new website at WMCT-TV.com. There you can check out our new weekly news breaks. Just click on what's new on the left-hand side of the main page. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Nearly 1,800 newspaper announcements published during World War II were on display at your local senior center. Plus, Assabet Valley High School welcomes a new technical program. And later in this half hour, the postseason kicked off this week for your local sports teams. We have the highlights. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on the city's tribute to our veterans. The city paid tribute to its veterans on Wednesday morning with a Main Street parade led by members of the high school and middle school marching bands. The event ended with a ceremony at the World War I Doughboy Monument right outside the Walker Building. Mayor Nancy Stevens delivered a touching poem.
Each don their uniform to be defenders of our liberty. Their mission sure, their spirits bright, guard freedom's home, be brave to fight. One final day, each faced their call, each gave their best endearing all. We'll never know what they went through, but we know they love this country true. Deep down inside, we should all feel what heroes gave, their cost so real. We must stay thankful, grateful of the gift of freedom through their love. Their loved ones bore the greatest pain. What we can't know, some now sustain. To God I pray their pain will cease, and each will find long-lasting peace. Remember this from year to year, what heroes gave shan't disappear. We'll never let this special day, their time for honor slip away. These brave fought for a nation free. If not for them, where would we be?
You can view the day's festivities in its entirety on WMCT. Please check our website at WMCT-TV.com for the schedule. In addition to the parade and speeches, the Marlborough Historical Society displayed pictures and uniforms of Marlborough war veterans. Here's Dan Ginden with this story.
For the second year in a row, the Marlborough Historical Society displayed pictures and articles from the scrapbook of Ruth W. Colina, which was donated by her daughter-in-law, Nancy Algren Colina. The auditorium was filled with copies of the 855 pictures and articles in the book that were all clippings from past Marlborough Enterprise newspapers. The Historical Society's Jack Gracie said there was a steady flow of visitors to the exhibit.
It was just amazing. The veterans came in, saw themselves, saw their friends, and they went back and brought their family in. So it was a very moving response to this exhibit.
Old uniforms and pictures that were not in the scrapbook were added to the exhibit. Those who served their state and country the way State Representative Danielle Gregoire does today were on hand to see how family members once served state and country in a different capacity.
I think it's important for everybody to be able to come downtown, and I think especially today after the parade when we're remembering our veterans, to come in and see the people that they knew, the families that they knew, and remember the sacrifices that our families have made for our country.
And speaking of remembering, who are we standing in front of here?
This is my grandfather, John Werner. He served in the South Pacific in World War II and was very happy to come home, and was never big about talking about his military experience, and I didn't really talk to him much about it until after my grandmother passed away. But we're really proud of him.
Eleanor Horrigan, a World War II veteran, really appreciates the interest that the public has shown by coming to see the exhibit.
You don't realize it until you all come down here and see everything that's down here. And there are a lot of people in Marlborough that are thinking the same thing that I am right now, and reminiscing, some of it bad, some of it good. It's worth coming down here to see.
For Marlborough This Week, I'm Dan Ginden.
For more information on great events put together by the Historical Society, you can visit their website at historicmarlborough.org. Now it's on to this week's Committee Corner.
The Personnel Committee Monday night recommended reappointing Chief Procurement Officer Beverly Sleeper. In a 2-to-1 vote, the committee agreed to bring the recommendation to the full City Council. Mayor Nancy Stevens, who advocated for Sleeper's reappointment, described her work as indispensable. But committee member Joseph Delano, who cast the lone vote against moving the reappointment proceedings forward, argued that the main issue is not Sleeper's qualifications, but the overall performance of the town's legal department. A Marlborough High School senior's lifelong interest in science is paying off. Sarah Doherty won a spot in a national science convention and became the first student to speak at the State Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Summit. Doherty told the school committee Tuesday night that she has liked science since she was a little kid. Doherty said she has learned how to challenge herself, found new opportunities, and become more outgoing, a necessary component to speaking in front of 500 people, which she did at the Sturbridge STEM Summit on October 20th. Although some of her friends complain about doing science projects, Doherty said they can be more interesting if students work on something they enjoy. Doherty learned that she can combine two loves in science projects, biology and photography.
Once you really think about involving something that you enjoy in a project that you can do, then it gets more interesting than just testing plants.
The senior next hopes to attend Syracuse, the University of Maryland, or Northeastern, and expects to study both science and art.
We are just so proud of your accomplishments as a community, and so proud that you are a product of the Marlborough school system, and to be able to speak. The student keynote speaker at this seminar was just at the summit, was obviously an honor for you to do that, and we congratulate you on that.
For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
To continue with our schools, after 3 years of visiting several biotechnology firms, a series of conference rooms and offices were redone over the summer, and a biotech lab was born. The goal of the program is to prepare students for further education and entry-level positions in the biotechnology industry. There was a grand opening at Assabet Valley High School this past Tuesday night, and we were there. Students at Assabet Valley High School now have the opportunity to learn a whole new technology program as the school welcomes biotechnology to its curriculum. On Tuesday night, school officials invited numerous leaders in the community to its new biotech lab to learn more about this new education opportunity.
Well, it's great for Assabet Valley because the students will have an opportunity to explore an area where there are definitely jobs for the future. So this is an opportunity for students to study biotechnology and then decide on career pathways for themselves.
The addition comes after a 3-year implementation process that was spearheaded by Superintendent Mary Jo Naraki and former Superintendent Jean Carlo.
It was a program that I talked about a lot when I first became principal, and I have to give credit to the former superintendent, Jean Carlo, because he never turned a deaf ear on it. So we actually started the process when he was superintendent. But it's great to actually come in with an idea about a program and then see it go from start to finish.
Thanks to one biotech company, Tolerex, officials were able to implement the program after being assured that there was a job potential for their students after completing the specified training courses.
I assured them that indeed many biotechnology companies have a very significant and active program to hire folks that are trained in biotechnology as a means of getting our work done.
The biotech course is one of the few available locally, matching the quality of education you could find in the Cambridge public school system.
The Cambridge public schools have a program for some of their high school students that ultimately then every student moves on to positions in biotech companies in the Cambridge-Boston metropolitan area.
So what exactly will the students be learning on a daily basis in the biotechnology course? Ringler explains.
It starts with the basics and just how to understand and measure fluids and the certain parameters of fluids that are important in biology, and then progressing to what we do in a biotech company, which is to make protein therapeutics to treat people in many cases, and in other cases to treat animals or to do various things in agriculture, for example.
Ringler assures that this program will allow students to be competitive in the biotechnology field, and even in a depressed economy, this industry has been growing.
Even in the depressed market, we've shown some growth, although it certainly had slowed down, but still it grew. It didn't retract. So I think from that, I think the take-home message that it continues to grow. It certainly has in the last 10 to 15 years, and I would anticipate that that trend would continue.
Speaking of growing companies, Hewlett-Packard, looking to expand into a business long dominated by Cisco, said on Wednesday it has agreed to buy networking software and equipment maker 3Com Corporation. 3Com is based in Marlborough. HP states this deal will add new products to its line and help expand its presence in China. Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week. In a fiscally challenging time, teens grasp the harsh reality of what lies ahead after they graduate at a recent reality fair. But first, a local nonprofit organization dodges devastating budget cuts. We'll have the details when we come back. Stay with us.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. Get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Governor Deval Patrick's recent 9C cuts could have been devastating to Massachusetts clubhouse and recovery centers throughout the Commonwealth, but thanks to a recent campaign effort, doors will remain open for now. We spoke with Executive Director Tony Wolf to learn more about this issue.
Do I know the future of employment options? No. Do I know that we escaped the bullet? For now, the answer is yes. Do I truly believe these services are important to this community? Absolutely.
The local nonprofit agency Employment Options, which provides a variety of crucial services to individuals recovering from mental health illness, dodged a major bullet this month. There were rumors circulating that Governor Deval Patrick was going to make devastating cuts to clubhouse and recovery centers that aid over 8,000 people in Massachusetts alone who have serious mental illnesses.
We clearly were on the table of the governor's desk. His plan was to do a statewide cut across the entire state for programs that are funded through the Department of Mental Health under recovery and rehabilitation.
Executive Director Tony Wolf stated to us on Monday that thanks to local and statewide campaigning that informed the governor that this cut would be devastating to the local community, services are saved for now.
His understanding, looking at having to do 9C cuts and emergency cuts, it is sometimes easier on that kind of level to do something statewide, a code, cut it out of a contract, and then you have some savings.
With 70% of the organization's funding coming from the Department of Mental Health, alternative funding sources are now being taken into consideration.
It is a time now to look at services being provided in a collaborative way. How can we jointly share services? How can we jointly share resources? And so Employment Options is looking at that, is talking to partners and saying, how can we work together better, more efficiently?
In addition, Wolf is looking to the community for help and input for ways to keep these services alive.
If people have some ideas, or people who have looked at models where providers have gotten together to look at shared resources, there are other models out there nationally. I would really be eager to kind of hear from folks.
If in fact Patrick's plan to cut funding for recovery centers had passed, Employment Options would have shut their doors on December 31st. This would have permanently discontinued their services. Employment Options will now luckily continue services through June of 2010 and hopefully will continue on for many years to come.
The good news is we're not closing December 31st. We're still alive. We actually have not gotten any cuts, which is quite surprising. So we go from extreme to nothing. But it is a time to use this time wisely. And that's exactly what our board's doing, is really looking at it strategically.
Financial literacy for teens has become a hot topic around the country. Last year, a survey released by the Federal Reserve indicated that young people enjoy spending money but have no idea how to manage it. To ensure our students know what to do in the real world, the Marlborough Rotary Club teamed up with local business leaders to educate and inform. Here's a sneak peek into the 2009 Reality Fair. Seniors at Marlborough High School should be excited. It's their last year of public school before they head out into a world of opportunities. College or employment, no matter what they choose, each student will take on something new, something they've never done before. But before they venture out into this world, teachers and business leaders of this community are testing them, making sure they are prepared for what's ahead. Reality was on the agenda on Monday morning as the Marlborough Rotary Club hosted their 2009 Reality Fair.
When I was president of the Marlborough Rotary Club, every president has his project, and I chose to do this because I work in the financial industry, and I had been seeing the statistics about financial literacy among the general population and particularly among teens.
The fair is held each fall to give seniors a taste of financial reality as they begin their preparation for their post-high school lives. More than 30 volunteers participate in this intensive game to teach teens the importance of budgeting a paycheck. Tables are set up with something different at each one, offering advice, temptation, and necessities. According to the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce's CEO, credit cards are something to be aware of. To her surprise, although, most students were smart about which card they chose and seemed to not fall for the gimmicks.
They're all coming by and goes, no, then we'll build up too much debt. These kids are really smart. This is the greatest things for them to do. Even though we're presenting them with temptation, they're turning me down.
Health insurance, although not glamorous, is a necessity, and Marlborough Hospital attended Monday's event to give the students the 411 about coverage and how expensive it can actually be.
Well, their parents can't carry them for the rest of their lives, and if they have children and a wife, it's way more expensive.
Something else students may not be aware of or may not want to start thinking about is retirement planning. Andre Harris, a financial advisor, says, with the current state of the economy, this is a great opportunity for young people to start planning for their future.
Things are only going to get better from this point on, so these kids have a tremendous opportunity. This is the time they really start worrying about retirement planning. And with the proper plan, they could probably be a lot better off than some of the people who retire nowadays.
Teens who went through the program say they gained new insights about the costs of living in the real world.
The things that seems like so easy to get, you wonder why people don't have it, like the TV and the cell phone. Like right now I don't have any with the reality fair thing, and I'm like, oh, that's why some people don't have it.
All in all, the fair is the much-needed dose of reality these students need, learning the most important lesson: you need to know how to budget your money.
Use your money wisely, plan ahead, things like that. Get help, like talk to other people about how expensive life really is.
The Relay for Life, which is a fundraiser sponsored by the American Cancer Society, is a worldwide event aimed at raising money for cancer research. From 2008 to 2009, Marlborough's event tripled, and event organizers are expecting the same this year. Well, that's probably why planning for the event began a few months ago, and yes, you guessed it, they need your help. Here's more on this story.
We know this year we have a ton more people coming back, but we're looking to make it even bigger.
The challenge is on, as planning for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life has begun thanks to numerous dedicated and enthusiastic residents from Marlborough and Hudson. We attended the event's recent planning session, which was held at the Embassy Suites Hotel, to find out how you can help. Planning sessions will be held once a month from now until the event happens in May.
Tonight what we're really looking at is sponsorship. That was an area we didn't focus on last year, so the committee's getting together and going to go over all different local businesses and corporations that we can go out to and really solicit it for new sponsors this year.
Kathleen Kelly, the American Cancer Society staff partner for the local event, says the enthusiasm from local residents has been great so far.
Our planning committee, which consists of about 20 volunteers from Hudson, Marlborough, has gotten together once a month. Tonight we're obviously meeting to discuss ideas and stuff, and then we'll begin meeting once a month from here on out.
Marlborough's 2010 Relay for Life will be held on May 21st at Galone Park. The challenge? To raise $150,000 for the cause. Event volunteer and PATS team leader Cheryl Jouer says, if you aren't on board yet, this is a great time to get involved. Relay for Life 2010 is one to look forward to.
Oh, the event is going to get bigger. Everything is getting bigger. We have a goal of $150,000 this year. Last year we raised $100,000, so we're beginning the process of planning really early now so that we can reach that goal, and we've already started.
The Relay for Life events are fundraisers held across the United States that offer residents in the community the opportunity to celebrate the lives of people who have battled cancer, to remember those who have lost, and to fight back against the disease.
Everybody knows somebody that's been touched by cancer, so we really want to encourage people to come on down and help us. If you can come to one event and volunteer for that, that's great. If you can stay with us the whole time, that's even better. But whatever you can do to volunteer is definitely a plus.
For more information, please contact Kathleen Kelly at kathleen.kelly@cancer.org. You can also visit the local events website at relayforlife.org/Marlborough Hudson MA. A volunteer opportunity, your pet of the week in sports. It's all coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services and resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's One Stop for services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Special Olympics Massachusetts has moved to their new headquarters at 512 Forest Street, and now the organization is looking for volunteers. They're looking for enthusiastic, friendly people to staff their front desk from 9 to 5 Monday through Friday in 4-hour shifts. Training will be provided, and for more information, please call Martha Dove at 508-485-0986, extension 219.
Today we have Sugar, and Sugar is a really sweet young pup, no pun on words intended. She came here with her brother Spice. He's since been adopted, and she's looking for a home with someone who has lots of time for training because she's just a puppy, 7 months old, still growing, still learning. She was a stray from Puerto Rico, and she has some scars to show the sad life that she had before she came here, Buddy Dog. But if you're interested in Sugar, she's going to make a great family pet. She should be good with children. We think she's pretty much housebroken. So please give us a call at Buddy Dog. The number is 978-443-6990.
It's time for another sports update. I'm Rob O'Keefe. Last week, Marlborough football was up against North Middlesex in its final home game of the season. North Middlesex had just 2 wins going into the game. Early in the first quarter, quarterback A.J. Serra gets it over to Tyler Redding, and that play would set up this 10-yard run by Adam Serra to give Marlborough an early 6-0 lead. A lot of people thought Marlborough would just run right through this team, but early on, Marlborough found out it wasn't going to be that easy. Here's one of 2 turnovers on the night for Marlborough, and North Middlesex would capitalize on this fumble recovery and score 6 of their own on Brian McGee's 2-yard run. North Middlesex would later kick a 22-yard field goal, and Marlborough found themselves trailing for the first time all year. The score was 10-7 going into the half. Marlborough would regain the lead for good in the fourth quarter when trusty A.C. Carter scored from the 1-yard line. Later in the fourth, North Middlesex would make one last stand, but not if Jacques Pierre could have something to say about it. On 3rd and 5, Pierre breaks through the line and flattens running back Colin Gradella. Marlborough would go on to win 14-10 and remain undefeated. Now let's check out some Assabet Valley football. Early on in the first quarter, senior running back Alan Alvarez scores from 6 yards out. Once again in the second, Alvarez finds his way into the end zone to give Assabet a 12-0 lead. In the third quarter, junior running back K-Ron Pacus runs 8 yards for another Assabet touchdown. Late in the third, junior quarterback Adrian Leonardson to receiver Matt Tucker to give Assabet Valley a 26-0 lead and put away the game for good. Assabet goes on to win 26-6, bringing their record to 5-4. Marlborough girls soccer is having a great year, and they took on Shrewsbury in a quarterfinal matchup. The only offense of the game came within 3 minutes of the second half when Kathy Withers stopped, popped, and found the back of the net on a deflected crossing pass. Marlborough had the 1-0 lead, and it would stay that way. Shrewsbury, though, had plenty of chances. Ball after ball flying over the crossbar, hitting the crossbar, or just flat out completely missing the net. Netminder Ashley Mullen had a great game with 4 saves. But the tables would turn against the Marlborough girls soccer team when they faced the top-seeded Wachusett. They lose a heartbreaker 1-0. The Marlborough boys soccer team also had trouble with the number 1 seed as they lost to St. John's on Thursday 2-0. Marlborough girls volleyball took on Hopkinton in the quarterfinal. Sit back and check out this awesome volley between the 2 teams. The Panthers may have won that point, but they ended up losing the game 3-0. Marlborough finishes the season 16-3. Wrapping up the scores, Assabet Valley's girls volleyball also lost 3-0. They finished their season 8-9. And that's it for this week's sports. We'll see you next week.
Still ahead, we have a new website we'd like you to know more about, but first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be back after this short message.
Hi, my name is Daniel. My brother Jacob has autism.
Most people don't know what that is. We've learned about autism. Through the Autism Alliance of Metro West, we met other families just like ours. Now it's easier for us to do fun things all together. Please visit the website at www.autismalliance.org.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Individuals interested in obtaining a GED should register on December 1st at Assabet Valley High School from 4 to 7 p.m. You must bring a photo ID, a money order for $65 made out to Assabet Valley. The GED test will be given at Assabet Valley High School on December 15th, 16th, and 17th from 4 to 7 p.m. You must be present for all 3 nights. For more information, you can call Andrea Cronin at 508-485-9430, extension 1216. And lastly, we'd like to invite you to take a moment to check out our new website at WMCT-TV.com. There you can check out our new weekly news break. Just click What's New on the left-hand side of the main page. There's lots of great information about our station and descriptions of all of our programming. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. I want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week. Coming up right now in Marlborough This Week, women question new breast cancer screening guidelines as they sweep the nation. We have reaction from your local hospital. Flu shots were administered to our residents at a recent flu clinic. Plus, Special Olympics Massachusetts has started its journey on Forest Street with a brand new training facility. And later in this half hour, the city's most treasured fundraiser celebrates its 20th year. Those stories and more on this week's show. Marlborough This Week begins right now. A federal task force has issued new guidelines that drastically scale back the use of routine mammograms, while the American Cancer Society and numerous doctors disagree. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Here's more on this week's top story. Fresh off Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where the message of the best protection is early detection, women are now being told they can hold off having mammograms for another decade. The new guidelines call for routine mammography to begin at age 50 instead of age 40. The guidelines do not apply to women with a family history or other risk factors for breast cancer. The task force says the new guidelines are supported by medical evidence but use somewhat chilling language. We spoke with Dr. Ron Garrell, a radiologist at Marlborough Hospital, to see how he feels about these new recommendations.
There's many things about the analysis that are true, which is that in younger women, such as women in their 40s, there's less breast cancers to detect, and it's harder to detect them.
With these new recommendations, a task force is aiming to reduce the imperfections within breast exam screenings that are frequent with younger patients, such as unnecessary biopsies and incorrect results.
The recommendations did seem to go against a lot of research and thought and other recommendations from professional society, so it did surprise me.
Since 1990, the death rate from breast cancer has decreased by 30%, primarily because of screening mammograms.
The single best way to catch breast cancer early is screening mammography. Self-examination should be considered a complement to screening mammography.
The group found no evidence that self-exams reduce breast cancer death rates, and it discourages the practice of teaching women how to examine themselves, but doctors disagree with this statement.
We still have women all the time, every month, who come in who have breast cancer, and they found it themselves. In which case, if they hadn't been checking in some form or fashion, they might have come in a little bit later when the cancer was bigger and less of a chance of curing them.
Before having a mammogram, women ages 40 to 49 should talk to their doctors about the risks and benefits of the test and then decide if they want to be screened.
A good chunk of the decrease in the breast cancer death rate, we think, is due to screening mammography.
For women ages 50 to 74, the task force recommends routine mammography screenings every 2 years. Risks and benefits for women aged 75 and above are unknown.
I'm predicting that the insurance companies will continue to support mammography starting at a younger age, such as age 40.
Yearly flu vaccinations have begun, and they will continue throughout the flu season. We visited a recent flu clinic to speak with the city's public health nurse to learn more about this year's clinics and about the recent H1N1 pandemic. Tuesday afternoon, just under 100 residents lined up outside the Board of Health to receive their annual flu shot. According to public health nurse Nancy Cleary, the clinic went quite well.
We had a good turnout. We used all our vaccine. We gave about 73 doses.
The clinics are run from 2 to 4 p.m. and because some fear being turned away due to the lack of surplus of vaccine, the wait to receive the shot can be quite long.
And we had a little problem with crowd control. Unfortunately, our secretary was out sick. Our Director of Human Services, Roz Baker, came over and did some crowd control, so that was very helpful.
Since the community seasonal flu dispensing event was canceled this year due to the high demand of the H1N1 vaccine, all flu vaccinations will be given from the Walker Building, room 109 at 255 Main Street.
For the most part, we've had enough vaccine. We did have to turn some people away, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and we had a couple people we had to turn away this week.
As far as the H1N1 vaccine is concerned, as soon as the Board of Health receives a supply, clinics are then set up immediately.
We are hoping to get a good supply of the H1N1 so that we can do an emergency dispensing clinic, an EDS clinic, at one of the schools.
The H1N1 vaccine is in high demand, but the Board of Health can only administer the shot to targeted groups. Once those groups have received it, it can be then administered to the greater population.
We're getting a lot of calls and people looking for it and people with underlying illnesses. And that's understandable.
To protect yourself and those around you, wash your hands and use the suggested cough method when you're sick.
Covering your cough into your elbow. Try to protect other people if you are coughing.
There are 2 websites you can check out for updated clinic information. One is flumasspro.org and the other is ala.findaflushot.com. The seasonal flu vaccine will be available from 2 to 4 p.m. for residents between 9 and 18 years old, for people 19 to 49 with a chronic medical illness, and for those 50 years or older.
People that want to get vaccinated will be vaccinated, and that's our goal, to get everybody vaccinated as soon as possible.
A 61-year-old man from Hudson suffered leg and head injuries on Monday afternoon when he was pinned beneath a dump truck on Pleasant Street. We were there as crews arrived. About 20 firefighters, paramedics, and police officers worked outside the 457 Pleasant Street home on Monday afternoon. It took about 15 minutes to free the man. Emergency crews used the Jaws of Life cutting tool. The man was conscious when crews loaded him onto a stretcher at 3:15 p.m. The man was flown by life flight to UMass Memorial Medical Center in Worcester. Police have identified the Hudson man injured in Monday's dump truck accident. Police Chief Mark Leonard stated on Wednesday that 61-year-old Alan Manter suffered head and leg injuries when he was pinned under the dump truck. Authorities say they believe Manter was trying to release the dump part of the vehicle when it came down and he got stuck under the middle of the truck. He suffered injuries to a lower leg and the right side of his head. Police notified the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Police Chief Leonard says he does not anticipate any charges or citations. Manter was in good condition at UMass Memorial Medical Center in Worcester as of Wednesday afternoon.
The special permit application for a proposed hotel off Interstate 495 is headed for a council vote before a year-end deadline. Developer Chirag Patel has proposed a 104-room hotel for 257 Cimarrano Drive. Patel has said that the chain would be a Hilton, Marriott, Sheraton, or Hyatt. The Urban Affairs Committee discussed the special permit conditions Tuesday night, and the application could face a vote at next Tuesday's committee meeting. Without a suspension of the rules, the full council could vote on the application at its last scheduled meeting of the year on December 21st. Since it is an election year, the council must decide on the application by December 31st, or the process has to start over next year. For this week's Committee Corner, I'm Dan Ginden.
Speaking of new additions to the city, the Special Olympics Massachusetts New Sports Training Center is a state-of-the-art office and training facility located at 512 Forest Street. We met with a representative of the center to learn more and to take a tour.
We want to have a major impact on the quality and availability of health care for people with intellectual disabilities, and we're going to do that here at this building.
The headquarters of Special Olympics Massachusetts is officially here and has begun training at this beautiful 25,000 square foot Yockey Sports Training Center located at 512 4th Street.
We conceived of the idea about 6 years ago. We started putting things on paper and developing architectural designs, and about a year ago we broke ground and actually took ownership and moved in on October 13th.
The reason this facility was built in Marlborough is because it's central in New England. It's less than a 90-minute drive for 90% of the population living in Massachusetts.
We have an enormous training responsibility. We have 1,650 coaches, all of whom require some degree of training, certification, and then recertification every 3 years. We have another 12,000 volunteers. We have 25 staff, we have 25 board members, we have countless family members, all of whom will benefit from the training that will take place in this building.
The facility has 2 floors. The ground floor houses a full-size gym, computer training facilities, video conferencing capabilities, and 5 multi-purpose conference rooms. Offices are located on the 2nd floor.
We're able to bring our coaches here, do the classroom training in the classrooms, in the conference rooms, and then have them go directly into the gymnasium for their practical training.
Eunice Kennedy Shriver's picture is located in several areas of the building. Johnson believes that she had a profound impact on how people perceive individuals with disabilities.
Her goal was really to take them out of the darkness and into the light, give them an opportunity to show the world that they are capable of doing far more than anyone ever thought.
The training that's taught at this facility is given to volunteers around the area who want to make a difference in the lives of others, which is focused around the gift of sports.
Sports is what we do. It's what we've always done. It's what we do best. It's what we'll always do. We want to provide our athletes with an opportunity for a longer, happier, healthier, more fulfilling life through sports.
Johnson admits this new facility has been a long time coming, and they are overjoyed with the results.
This building is going to give us a launching pad for doing some tremendous things for people with intellectual disabilities over the course of the next few years in particular.
Still to come as we continue with Marlborough this week, donation results from the recent Scouting for Food campaign, but first, the annual Evening of Giving. We'll have that story when we come back.
The Massachusetts One-Stop Career Centers, connecting workers and employers.
For career services and resources, I can help with that.
If it's about computers or internet job searches, those are my classes and they're free.
Before you go on your job interview, I can help you prepare to do your best.
For veterans, it's one stop for services.
For complete business services for employers, that's our team.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The city's most treasured annual fundraiser took place on Thursday night, and over the years, proceeds have helped improve Roland's House, a homeless shelter here in the city. Thursday's event marked the 20th year of the Evening of Giving. The Evening of Giving, a gala that helps fund the homeless shelter Roland's House, celebrated its 20th year this past Thursday night. The gala brought together more than 1,000 people and dozens of Marlborough and Hudson restaurants at Marlborough's Best Western Royal Plaza Hotel. Restaurants donate the lavish menu and the modest $30 ticket per guest go straight to Roland's house. Over the past 2 decades, the Evening of Giving has raised more than $600,000 for the homeless shelter. The Southeastern Massachusetts Opportunity Council, which operates Roland's House, praises this event for its continued contributions. Thanks to these contributions, Roland's House continues to provide an important community resource by giving the homeless a safe place to stay and access to housing and supportive services. Evening of Giving committee members say that the support of local businesses has been key to the event's success by keeping the ticket price low and enabling all of the money raised to go directly to Roland's House. Residents may have found a plastic bag hanging on their doorknob last weekend as Scout troops hoped residents would fill that bag with items to help the food pantry. Conducted by troops across the country, this has been a crucial program for the organization. We met with a Scout leader this past week to hear how this year's event turned out. Area Boy and Girl Scout troops committed to an active community service last week as they collected items for the local food pantry. We met with Jim Watson, a Boy Scout leader, whom has been involved in the campaign, to learn more.
What we did is we distributed approximately 13,000 bags throughout the city to just about every home in town. And the idea was for residents to fill these bags with non-perishable items, canned goods, boxed goods, cereals, baby products, paper products, personal hygiene items to be donated right back here to the Marlborough Food Pantry.
The campaign has been running for 23 years, and Watson states that this year's results were better than last, despite the weather.
We all know it rained incredibly, but we had about 400 Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts that spread out throughout the town, and they retrieved the Scouting for Food bags that we put out the previous Saturday, which was November 7th. 2,179 bags came back, so a little bit under 2%.
All items donated went directly to our city residents. The Scouting for Food campaign would not be successful without the help of area businesses.
Cane Storage, right down here on Bolton Street in Marlborough, they donate the space. They've been doing this for a couple years now. They donate the space free of charge for food pantry. Price Chopper Supermarkets for many, many years now has been printing the Scouting for Food bags. Also, that's a free of charge. That's a service that they do. The paper store, at least here from Marlborough, has been making some wonderful posters for us. And we've also had the Chamber of Commerce this year had announced it, on their website.
This campaign allows even the youngest Scout to give back to his or her community. With demand up 30% at the food pantry, now's a great time to give whatever you can.
We just ask that in the future, and even now, if you have items to donate, please bring them down to the food pantry and do your part to help other people in your city.
Just across the street from your local food pantry is your local senior center, and there you'll find great activities and your local outreach coordinator, Anna Cristina Oliveira. Oliveira is visiting senior housing locations one Friday every month to ensure those who can't make it down to the center get the information they deserve. The Senior Center, located at 240 Main Street, offers a lot of great activities to the senior population. In addition, it recommends taking advantage of many out-of-house programs that are available.
Some of the services that we provide, it's assistance with your insurance, food stamps, fuel assistance, and home services referral.
Thanks to Outreach Coordinator Anna Cristina Oliveira, more senior residents will be aware of this information. Oliveira will be visiting 4 different locations one Friday every month.
I am available for an hour at each location, and I am open to answer any questions that you might have.
In addition to the counseling, Oliveira will provide additional information for residents that take part in this outreach connection.
I will also bring flyers, calendars and newsletters about activities that's going on at the Senior Center.
To find a location near you, please call the Senior Center at 508-485-6492. Our prize-winning author, information about the flu in regards to your pet and sports. It's all coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
These tiny germs send 200,000 Americans to the hospital every year. Seasonal and pandemic flu spreads by touch, sneeze, and cough. So it's up to you to stop the flu. get a flu shot. Sneeze or cough in your sleeve or a tissue.
Why, that's right.
Wash your hands with soap or sanitize. And don't bring the bug to work or school. Yes, it's up to you to stop the flu.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Doris Goodwin, a prize-winning author, came to Marlborough on Wednesday night to discuss and answer questions about her book, Team of Rivals. Goodwin's appearance was part of the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library's author celebrity series. As part of the Friends of the Marlborough Public Library's 40th anniversary celebration, Doris Goodwin, the author of a number of books, including Team of Rivals and Wait Till Next Year, spoke in the Veterans Memorial Auditorium at the grades 4 to 7 school on Wednesday night. The event, part of the McConnell Author Celebrity Series, also featured a question and answer period and a book signing and sale.
I love libraries. I've spent half my life in libraries, writing books in libraries, researching in libraries. So when I was asked to help out the library tonight, I was delighted to do it. And we live in Concord, so it's nearby, so I know Marlborough, and I'm very glad to be here.
The Friends of the Marlborough Public Library started in February of 1970. The organization is planning other events for its 40th anniversary celebration, including a gala at the Marlborough Country Club in April. You can view this event in its entirety on WMCT. Check our website at WMCT-TV.com for playing times. Earlier in our newscast, we spoke of the H1N1 virus and the flu in regards to people, but what about their animal specialist, Gina Lettery, to find out how you can keep the family well this season, including your pet.
There's been a lot of confusion about the virus in general, as well as whether or not it can affect our pets. There is no known cases of dogs being affected. There is one case of a cat that I've heard of, but it can never hurt to use common sense. And we should always wash our hands thoroughly before we handle our pets and after we handle our pets. And if we're not feeling well and we think we may be coming down with a virus, we want to be especially careful when we're handling our pets or when we go out in public in general. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to call your veterinarian because they're the ones that are going to be able to give you the best advice. Today we have Lexi. And Lexi is a beautiful, I think maybe golden retriever chow, if you look at the tail mix. She has kind of a sad story. She's been left outside most of her life with her doggy sister, but they didn't get along too well. So her owner decided, because the two dogs were fighting, that she would bring Lexi to Buddy Dog. So she hasn't had a lot of attention in her life. She's spent a lot of time outside by herself. She's a really nice dog, probably best as an only dog in the house. She's about 4 years old. She's seen our vet here at Buddy Dog, and she is good to go. So if you're interested in Lexi or any of the other pets here at Buddy Dog, please feel free to call us at 978-443-6990.
Hey Marlborough, it's Rob O'Keefe with another sports update. Last week, it was Marlborough High football looking to go 10-0 versus Leominster. And in the first, A.J. Serra runs right up the middle for the touchdown, but the point after attempt fails. The score is 6-0. Leominster would later score and lead 7-6 at the half. In the third, A.C. Carter. A.C. had 122 yards with 2 touchdowns on the night. And in the third quarter, he got his first touchdown in this 15-yard run. They would have to go for the 2-point conversion because of the missed point after attempt, and A.J. Serra throws to his brother Adam Serra for the conversion, making the score 14-7 Marlborough. Here's a huge defensive play by Marlborough. Leominster 4th and inches on the goal line. Adrian DeJesus squirts under the pile. See him there on the bottom, grabbing legs, feet, anything he can grab to stop Leominster from getting that touchdown. And the refs are going to bring out the chain, and Marlborough is going to crouch and see what's happening. And Marlborough stops him on the goal line. They get the ball back. But unfortunately, Leominster would tie the score 14-14, and Marlborough, with 6 seconds left, rely on Matt Carlman to make a 35-yard field goal, and it looks good, but it's not. It's just left, and into overtime we shall go. Marlborough scores on their first possession and gets a 2-point conversion. So now it's up to the Marlborough D. Leominster scores their touchdown, and they're looking for the 2-point conversion, and there he is again. Adrian DeJesus squirting underneath the pile, and he's grabbing every blue jersey he can to get them from scoring, and Marlborough wins the game. They stop them. An exciting finish, and Marlborough goes 10-0, and they say, bring on Turkey Day, we want Hudson. Worcester Telegram and Gazette media poll sticks them at number 5 again. St. John's with 2 losses is better than them. Time for some Assabet highlights. Assabet Valley taking on Bay Path at home. It's a Division III-C matchup. Bay Path scores first on this 65-yard pass to Matt Collette. Gets a nice block there. They go up 6-0. But Assabet unleashes the beast known as Alan Alvarez. He had 211 yards on the night with 2 touchdowns. He has 1,300 yards on the season, and here he is. He's a human highlight reel, bouncing in and out, all-around tackles in for the touchdown. Now in the 4th, Corey Pearson would give Bay Path a 20-14 lead with this run, and Bay Path would hold the lead until 48 seconds left on the clock when Alan Alvarez tries out for the gymnastics team and scores a touchdown at the same time. Unbelievable. Let's watch this score again. Up and over 3 defenders, lands on his head. Assabet Valley wants a 2-point conversion, and no gymnastics needed here. It's just Alvarez for the 2-point conversion. They go up 22-20, and with seconds left on the clock, it's desperation time for Bay Path. They throw up a Hail Mary, and who intercepts it? That's Ryan O'Connor getting the interception in the end zone. Assabet wins 22-20. They're 6-4, 4-1 in Division III-C. That's going to do it for this week's sports. We'll see you next week.
Still ahead, a Thanksgiving Day bake sale, but first, a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. We want to remind you to stop by the 3rd annual Giant Bake Sale at Assabet Valley High School just in time for Thanksgiving. You can visit the school at 215 Fitchburg Street on Tuesday, November 24th from 8:30 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. The annual sale has traditionally been held for 2 days, but this year the school has a day off before Thanksgiving, so everything will be on sale on Tuesday only. Also, be sure to check out Marlborough Shamrocks Marathon on Thanksgiving Day starting at noon. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.